Hey friends, it is a little bittersweet, but today is our day to finish White Fur Flying by Patricia MacLachlan. We have 2 chapters left, 15 and 16, so let's see how this book wraps up. It was quiet. Cody and Callie slept in a heap on the rug. Even Lena was quiet for the time being, as if she knew that it was quiet we all needed. Daddy put his arms around Mama for a long time. "Do you want something to eat?" he asked her. Mama shook her head. "I'm too tired to eat." There was a small silence. "I was scared," said Alice finally. "Phyllis was scared too." Mama smiled. "Yes," she said, "I didn't know that Zoe was out in the terrible weather, but I was scared for Phillip and Jack." Mama paused. "But both Phillip and Jack turned out to be different than I thought they were," she added. "There are some things you can't know." Alice looked up. "Zoe?" asked Daddy. "I'm not sure what happened," I said. "I fell asleep in the hay, and when I woke up, Phillip was talking." "And probably still is," said Daddy with a smile. "I think Phillip's silence was for protection," I said. "If he said nothing, he couldn't be responsible for his mother and father's troubles." "That's what Phyllis said Alice. "Everything changed," I said. "It was like something magical happened." "For a while that something magical was Cody," said Daddy. "But then that something magical was Jack," I said. "Yes," said Mama, "it was Jack at the end." And now Phyllis is over in her house with white fur flying around the room, attaching itself to the sapphire blue drapes and couches, and on her navy blue sweater and slacks, and Mr. Croft, said Alice. She wrote something down in her journal and sat back. "I'm done," she said. She put down her pen. "Done," said Lena suddenly. "With what?" asked Daddy. Alice opened the rings of her notebook and handed a page to Daddy. He read it. "You can't know. You can't know that I have everything to say even if I don't speak. You can't know that I have nothing to say even if I speak always. You can't know what I know in my dog mind because I have no words. You can't know ever, but you should, that a dog will save you." When Daddy finished, it was quiet, except for Lena, and when she spoke, it was almost a whisper. "You can't know." Chapter 16. Sometimes you think you know more than you really do. People, events, things that are true and things that are not. Sometimes you think you know yourself, but then, surprise, it is someone else who shows you what is really there, like the truth a photograph shows. It was Alice's journal that turned a light on the day that Phillip was lost and began to speak. Alice is, after all, what Daddy calls the real spy. It was soon after all that had happened on that summer day, no wind, when Alice showed it to us. Alice's journal. Our life is back to the same, maybe a little bit of the same. Of all of us, Zoe is the hero. She's quiet and doesn't say as much as I do, but she's the hero. She went out in the rain and hail and wind all by herself that day to find Phillip and Jack. I should try to be more like Zoe. Phyllis and I had a long time to talk. Mama was right. Underneath everything I thought she was, Phillip is nice. When I asked her if Mr. Croft was a spy, she laughed for a long time. She laughed a nice laugh, not a Lena laugh. I'm not disappointed to find out that Mr. Croft is a librarian. Think of a life surrounded by books and quiet. I told Phyllis that was more exciting than a spy. I asked her if he talked, and she told me he was more comfortable with books than people. "Does he know books and people are the same thing?" I asked. Phyllis smiled at me. "Not always," she said. Phillip adopted Jack as his own rescue dog. They are happy. He has gone home to his parents who solved their problem. Phillip hasn't stopped talking. He writes us very talky letters. We have adopted Callie. She and Cody are soulmates, Daddy says. Phyllis and the silent Mr. Croft decided to stay in the rental house next door for a year. Phyllis is very fond of Callie and Cody. They visit her often, brushing up against her drapes and lying on her furniture. Phyllis is getting quite good at cleaning white fur flying off her furniture and clothes and Mr. Croft. Sometimes when Mr. Croft goes out to his car in his dark suit, Phyllis comes running after him, rolling a sticky tape up and down his trousers. Daddy has not found a home for Lena. It may be a secret to everyone, even to Daddy, but I think he loves Lena. I have started reading poetry to her, and Lena spouts it back. I wandered lonely as a cloud. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And Lena's favorite, a Mary Oliver poem. I have a little dog who likes to nap with me. He climbs on my body and puts his face in my neck. He is sweeter than soap. Lena's version, while short, is still poetry. She says, I have a little dog, sweeter than soap. Then we put the cover over her cage. Mama has new dogs coming. It is no secret to anyone that Mama loves to rescue dogs. Things change. Things don't change. Lena's right. You can't know. Alice Cassidy. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed reading this with me. Tomorrow we are going to start a new simple chapter book, so tune back in and let's see what that one is all about. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.